She grabbed his hand, her eyes raking over me with pure disgust. Haven't we broken up, Marcus? Can you please stop following me around like a lost dog? Everyone at the New Year's Eve gathering stared, their gazes laced with contempt. My face burned. My hand trembled, clutching my phone as I quickly dialed. Elise, are you here? Where are you? Across the crowded hall by the main display of the elegant princess ballroom, a woman revered by all was on her phone. She looked up, her gaze sweeping the room until it landed on me. I'm here, Marcus. The first elective class of a new semester, and there she was again. Isabelle slouched in a seat near the window, barely sparing me a glance before letting out a dismissive scoff. Honestly, can't you get a rest? Not even class is safe. Immediately, the hushed whispers filled the room. That's Isabelle's clingy ex-boyfriend, Marcus. I heard he's a total psycho. Didn't he try to get her back? It's really unsettling. I stood rooted to the spot, backpack clutched tight, a wave of familiar humiliation washing over me. It felt like I was dragged back into that dark, sunless period of my life, utterly devoid of the strength to even defend myself. All right, quiet down. A familiar voice cut through the haze. It was Dominic, my best friend. He pulled me aside. The professor's here. Everyone settled down. I shot him a grateful look and slid into the seat beside him. Dominic and I have been friends since high school. Back then, when the entire class shunned me, he was the only one who bothered to speak to me. He leaned in, lowering his voice. I know you want Isabelle back, but following her to an elective class. She just thinks you're creepy. I genuinely didn't know she'd choose this class, I whispered back. Marcus, we're best friends. Are you even trying to fool me now? Dominic's face hardened. When we registered for classes, you explicitly said you wanted a different one. I was about to tell him that the other class had been cancelled due to low enrollment when the professor at the front of the room tapped his desk sharply. Student in row 5, quiet, please. This is a lecture hall. Someone from the back called out, Sir, he's not here for the lecture. He's here to stalk his ex-girlfriend. The class erupted in laughter. The professor's disapproving glare and Isabelle's scornful gaze all burned through me, making me feel as if I were sinking into an endless abyss. My thoughts slipped into a hypnotic daze. I don't know how long it lasted. The dismissal bell finally rang. Dominic clapped me on the shoulder. Isabelle's packing up. She probably wants to go to the cafeteria. Do you want to follow her? I was silent for a moment. I'm not pursuing her anymore. This was just a coincidence. Marcus, you don't have to pretend. I know you. I cut him off. Serious. I have a girlfriend now. He visibly flinched, then chuckled, shaking his head. Marcus, your attempts to make her jealous are so naive. How many girls do you know who would ever be with you? But I wasn't lying. I really did have a girlfriend. We met online in a game. The New Year's holiday ended the night before returning to campus. I couldn't sleep, tossing and turning. I finally got out of bed and opened my laptop. My online girlfriend, Elise, was still standing by the game's login screen, unmoving. She hadn't gone to sleep yet. As I thought this, a private chat message popped up. Can't sleep. No. She invited me to a party, then said, put on your headphones. I'll sing for you. We stood side by side on the city's grand bridge in the game. She set off countless fireworks for me and sang a soulful ballad. Her gentle voice flowed into my ears like a clear stream in the quiet night. She made her character pat my head, then asked, Shadow, winter break is almost over. Don't you really want to meet me? That was my in-game name. I felt a pang of nervousness, then quickly recovered my composure. It's too soon. I think online relationships should be handled with caution. Aren't you afraid I might turn out to be a scammer? She lifted her head, laughing softly. No, it's okay if you don't want to meet so soon. I can wait until you change your mind. It wasn't that I didn't want to meet her. I was terrified that Elise was my in-game mentor, the one who taught me everything. I'd spent an entire sleepless night after realizing she attended the same university as me. Every time I closed my eyes, fragments of nightmares flashed through my mind, her realizing I was Marcus, the universally disliked, money-obsessed weirdo. I imagined her saying, "So you're the brain-dead loser who pretends to be someone else online. Why didn't you say so sooner? Who would ever like you? What rotten luck." I woke with a start, my back drenched in sweat. I swallowed 2 pills, then messaged her. My university and class details were all fake. I even added, "Actually, I'm very outgoing in real life, and I have lots of friends. Everyone really likes me." I had lied. Aside from Dominic, my only other friend was a faded old Lego set that had been with me since childhood. During the break, I had intended to tell Dominic about Elise, but as soon as I brought it up, he grinned. "Marcus, how old are you? You still believe in this? If someone has anyone who likes them in real life, who'd bother with some vague, nebulous online relationship?" His words felt like a slap across my face. Realizing his mistake, he quickly added, "Of course, Marcus, I'm not talking about you. I just feel like instead of trusting some online scammer, you'd be better off begging Isabelle. Maybe she'll agree to get back together with you." We talked as we walked towards Cafeteria 3. Dominic suddenly stopped, looking at a gleaming teal sports car parked nearby. "Isn't that Elise Montgomery's Lamborghini? Why is she back on campus today? It's still holiday." I looked up. Elise Montgomery was a final-year finance student, an academic superstar, and the sole heir to the immense Montgomery Group. "The elite scholarship you applied for earlier, that was funded by her family," Dominic explained, then paused, a sudden smile spreading across his face. "Oh, that reminds me. Isabelle's been really close to her lately. Friends, you could say. They're even working on an investment project together. Isabelle invited her to a New Year's gathering, too." I glanced at my phone. Elise had just sent a new message. "Are your exams done? Grab something to eat at the cafeteria, then head home." My finger hovered over the screen. "Cafeteria 3, I typed, then hesitated. No, wait, Cafeteria 2. These 2 cafeterias were on opposite sides of campus. I knew lying was wrong, but I was terrified of meeting her like this. As soon as I put my phone away, Dominic pulled me towards Elise Montgomery's sports car. The car door opened just as we approached, and a long leg stepped out, followed by a sharp, striking face framed by sleek black hair. A red coat accentuated her elegant aura. Her cool eyes swept over Dominic. "Elise, I'm Dominic, Isabelle's classmate, and yours from the finance department." Dominic's voice was warm and friendly. Elise Montgomery merely stated, "I don't know you." Dominic's smile faltered, but he quickly recovered, pushing me forward. "That's okay. You might not know me, but you definitely know him. This is Marcus, Isabelle's ex-boyfriend. He's famous on campus. Everyone knows him." Unexpectedly pushed forward, suddenly close to those cool yet beautiful eyes, my mind went blank. The intense shame made me instinctively want to retreat. But Dominic's grip on my wrist tightened. "No, Marcus, don't hide," Dominic urged, his voice tinged with exasperation as if coaxing a difficult child. "Considering your background, if it weren't for Elise's family scholarship, you wouldn't even be able to attend university. It's only right to thank her." A few students passing by stopped, glancing our way. "Isn't that Marcus from finance? His friend helps him out so much. It's a bit sad. I hear he has mental issues." "Shoo, don't say anything. He's looking over here." My gaze swept around, then landed on Elise Montgomery. I took a deep breath. "Elise, although you don't know me, I still want to thank the Montgomery Group's elite scholarship. It allowed me to continue my studies." "There's nothing to thank me for," she said, her voice calm. "Scholarships are meant to help students, and you earned it through your own merit. And by the way, I actually do know you." She paused, then continued. "Are you heading off campus today? Do you need a ride?" Dominic beside me gasped, his grip on my wrist tightening. "Wait, Elise, how could you not know Marcus? He's Isabelle's ex, chased her for so long. He's famous throughout the university. Not to mention, you and Isabelle are." She cut him off, her gaze freezing him. You're too noisy. Just 4 words, and Dominic's face flushed with embarrassment, unable to utter a single retort. Thank you, Elise, but I don't need a ride, I said, pulling my hand from Dominic's grasp. I bowed slightly to Elise and turned to leave. I hadn't been back in my dorm long before Dominic returned. Before I could speak, he confronted me. Marcus, why did you leave me there alone? I looked up. Why did you drag me over to greet Elise and then bring up Isabelle? Your scholarship was funded by the Montgomery Group. Besides, weren't you and Isabelle really a thing? I told you Isabelle and I are long over, I said, springing up from my chair. He flinched, startled, then adopted a contrite expression. All right, fine. I was out of line. I apologize. Okay. Before he could finish, the dorm room door was flung open. My 2 other roommates walked in. They exchanged glances, then patted Dominic on the shoulder. Come on, don't mind him. Let's go eat. As they left, the hatred in their eyes directed at me was unmistakable. My mind whirled with confused thoughts, a vague sense that something was wrong, yet unable to pinpoint it. This was the first time in 3 years of friendship that Dominic and I had argued. Back in my small, cold room, I opened my phone and saw several messages from Elise. No matter what, eat on time. Message me when you get home. My eyes blinked. My emotions, which I'd worked so hard to calm, began to churn again. I'm home, I typed. The typing indicator flickered for a few seconds. Then her next message. Shadow, do you have something on your mind you want to talk about? I held my phone, a little stunned. How did she know I wasn't in a good mood? My friend and I had a bit of a disagreement. After a moment's hesitation, I told Elise about the argument with Dominic. She immediately sent a call invitation. When I answered, her familiar, gentle voice came through. It's normal for friends to have conflicts. It's good you talked about it. So I asked, should I take the initiative to make up with him? Elise chuckled softly. Why would you be the one to make up? What you just said, there's something off about it. You need to understand the root cause. I vaguely recounted the days with Dominic to Elise. Actually, my relationship with him has always been good. He was my best friend in high school. When I was isolated, he always stood up for me. But this semester, I've started to feel something is off. When he talks, it makes me very uncomfortable. Sometimes he's clearly defending me to others, but it only makes the situation worse. At times like these, you should trust your instincts, Elise said. Shadow, have you considered that true friends wouldn't repeatedly bring up things you've denied, nor would they use your scars as tools to make new friends? I felt as if I'd been struck by lightning, frozen in place. On the other end of the line, Elise's voice grew serious yet somehow familiar. Perhaps in his perception, you were never truly his friend. I didn't sleep a wink that night. The past 3 years replayed in my mind. I slowly began to notice details I'd previously overlooked. From the beginning, when Isabelle and I got together, it was Dominic who played matchmaker. But every time we went on a date, it inexplicably turned into a trio. Isabelle always told me I was overthinking things, too sensitive. After I told Dominic, he patted my shoulder, his eyes seemingly sincere. Actually, Isabelle has a point. Marcus, no one will eternally indulge you. I know that because of high school, you were isolated, so now you overthink. It's hard for her to love you. You should understand her more. Then, after Isabelle and I broke up, my anxiety and depression spiraled, leading to a severe overdose that required hospitalization. During that dark, sunless period, rumors spread around campus that I had taken pills to force Isabelle to get back with me. I spent days in the hospital sleeping for what felt like an eternity. Dominic visited me. Marcus, get well. Don't worry, I'll help you clear this up. But after I was discharged, the rumors about me only grew more widespread and severe. The university forum had thousands of posts about me, filled with the most vile things imaginable. The posts were eventually deleted, but the comments about me only worsened. I asked Dominic about it. He sighed. Marcus, I try my best to explain for you, but you can't force people to like you, can you? Early the next morning, I received a message from Dominic. Marcus, I understand you're still not well. I don't blame you for yesterday. Maybe it's because I realized something, or maybe it was Elise's reminder last night. I stared at the words for a moment. For the first time, I refused to let it slide. I wasn't wrong yesterday. I don't need you to forgive me. I didn't care what he replied. I put my phone away and headed out the door. As soon as I boarded the bus, Elise's message arrived. What are you doing? I'm out buying holiday decorations. Are you alone? Yes. My parents are busy at home. I lied to her again. After my parents divorced, they both started new families. Neither of them wanted me to disrupt their new lives. I've been living alone since I was 16. Elise messaged again. I don't have anything to do after the break. Do you want me to come help you shop, Shadow? No, I panicked, awkwardly refusing. I can do it myself. In the bustling supermarket, I picked out some festive banners and window decorations. Just as I tossed them into my cart, I turned and bumped into a familiar face. Elise, I blurted, startled, my hand instinctively tightened on the cart handle. We meet again, Marcus. Perhaps it was the lively atmosphere, but her eyes weren't as cold and sharp as they had been on campus yesterday. Instead, they held a gentle, warm mist, and even her voice was softer, carrying a strange familiarity. You sound so familiar, I blurted out, then immediately regretted it. I quickly waved my hands. Don't misunderstand. I'm not trying to flirt. Your voice just reminds me of a friend. She raised an eyebrow, not appearing angry. A good friend. I thought of Elise and my lips curled into a slight smile. Yes. Then why isn't she with you? You're buying so many things. At least she could help you choose. She wanted to come, but I didn't let her, I retorted without thinking, afraid she'd find me rude. I cautiously glanced at her. She stood under the supermarket's warm, cheerful lights, gazing intently into my eyes, as if about to say something. Then her phone rang. The smile vanished from her face, replaced by a cold, serious expression. I understand. I'll be there to deal with it now. She hung up and looked deeply at me. I have to go. Goodbye, Marcus. She took a step, then turned as if remembering something, a faint smile playing on her lips. We will definitely meet again. After she left, I picked up a few more items, pushed my cart to the checkout, and headed out. Heavy snow was falling. I carried my large bags toward the train station. The snow quickly intensified, blurring my vision. Suddenly, I stopped, my gaze fixed on the floor-to-ceiling windows of a restaurant a few yards away. Two figures sat inside, figures I knew all too well, Dominic and Isabelle. Isabelle was laughing, her face beaming. Dominic suddenly leaned in, grabbing her and kissing her fiercely. My body froze in the snow. The biting cold crept up my legs, soaking into my clothes, seeping into every bone. Some past events that had always puzzled me suddenly made sense. Perhaps in his heart, he never considered you a friend. Elise's words were right. I wanted to rush in and confront them, but a long unseen wave of negative emotion surged as if something was strangling my throat, almost suffocating me. My thoughts gradually blurred until my phone vibrated in my pocket, jolting me back to reality. The screen showed Elise's name. I answered. Her voice, urgent, came through. Shadow, it's snowing outside. Have you gotten home safely? I haven't gone home yet. My hand tightened on the phone. Elise, let's meet tomorrow. By the time I reached my apartment, my hair was soaked from the melted snow. I showered, then wrapped myself in a blanket and sat on the sofa. Elise's messages flashed on my phone. Really, Shadow? If you don't want to meet, don't force yourself. I can wait. Why did you suddenly agree to meet? Did something happen? She truly was very perceptive. I just realized some things, I typed. Always running away isn't the solution. Maybe after we meet, you'll regret knowing me. I arranged to meet Elise the next afternoon at a restaurant near uptown. As I approached, I received another message from her. Let's change locations, Shadow. I glanced at the new address she sent, an incredibly expensive, high-end restaurant in the city center. My heart sank slightly. Are we really going to such an expensive place? I messaged her. She didn't reply, instead calling me directly. It's okay if you don't want to eat. Just come. I pushed through the crowd, got off the bus, and looked down at the bouquet of flowers in my hand. Despite my careful protection, it was slightly crushed, just like my cherished feelings, never truly taken seriously. Standing at the restaurant door, I thought, this is the first and last time I'll meet Elise. Taking a deep breath, I pushed open the glass door. Marcus. A familiar voice reached my ears. I looked up suddenly, meeting Isabelle's eyes. Her gaze dropped to the flowers in my hands, her expression immediately contemptuous and disgusted. We broke up. Can you please stop following me around like a lost dog? Dominic sat beside her. He didn't just smile dismissively like before. He looked directly at me. Marcus, so you didn't reply to my messages because of this? Honestly, if you really want Isabelle back, this isn't the way. What is this? You look like a creepy stalker. Everyone stared at me with contempt. I glanced past them, seeing Elise Montgomery at the main table. I suddenly remembered what Dominic had said the day I left campus. Elise Montgomery was Isabelle's friend, and they had a New Year's gathering. So this was it. Avoiding her intense gaze, I clutched the somewhat crumpled bouquet in my hands and took a deep breath. I'm not here for Isabelle. I have a friend meeting here. Isabelle scoffed. You, the guy who meticulously calculates every penny at the cafeteria, afraid of poverty and hardship. Who would meet you at a restaurant like this? I ignored her, pulling out my phone and dialing Elise. I'm here. Where are you? The phone rang. I looked up, and in front of everyone, Elise Montgomery, seated at the main table, answered her phone. She stood up, looking at me. Shadow, I'm here. I stood rooted to the spot, holding the somewhat disheveled bouquet, staring at her, stunned. Elise looked at me, then gently called out, Shadow. In that instant, I understood why her voice had always felt so familiar, so much like Elise's. Why, when we met on campus, Elise Montgomery had told me we would meet again. Why, after I just told Elise I was buying holiday decorations, I immediately ran into Elise Montgomery at the supermarket. Because Elise was Elise Montgomery. Once I realized this, the lies I had fabricated earlier and the overwhelming shame consumed my heart. Dominic beside me couldn't help but stand up, staring in shock. Elise, what are you saying? You know Marcus. You know, shouldn't I know him? That day on campus, you literally pushed him right in front of me, Elise Montgomery said, giving him a cold glance. Then she walked over to me, took the bouquet from my arms, and looked down slightly. Is this for me? Yes, but there were too many people on the bus earlier. It got a bit crushed, I murmured. It doesn't look great now. You can throw it away if you don't like it. I love it, she said, still looking at me, mimicking my tone. Especially love it. My face flushed. It wasn't until Elise took my hand and led me to the seat beside her that Isabelle finally reacted. She looked at me, her face pale. Elise, don't call my ex-boyfriend so intimately. He doesn't seem to have any connection to you anymore. Elise Montgomery spoke coldly, and everything you two just said, repeated again in front of me. The corners of her lips curled slightly, but her eyes held no mirth. With each word, Isabelle's face grew paler. After a long moment, she forced a strained smile. Elise, I didn't mean it like that. Elise Montgomery cut her off, her expression unreadable. It was Marcus, this sentence doesn't need to be said. I don't want to hear it. Elise took my hand, stroking it idly with her fingers. Who would blindly like a person like him? Well, the person who likes him now is me. The person who is definitely going to be with him is also me. Elise Montgomery chuckled softly. If I'm not mistaken, you're implying I'm blind, correct? Isabelle's face was utterly devoid of color, her lips trembling, unable to speak. She could only apologetically stammer, I'm so sorry, Elise. I didn't mean it. Am I the one you should truly be apologizing to? Elise Montgomery smiled, picked up a bottle of juice nearby, and poured me a glass. Marcus, drink this. Her voice was soft, her gestures incredibly intimate. Everyone present understood her intent. Isabelle gritted her teeth, raising her wine glass. I apologize. I'm so sorry, Marcus. Elise Montgomery gave her a dismissive glance. Isabelle immediately corrected herself. Marcus, I am truly sorry. What happened before was my fault. This glass of wine is my atonement. She drained the glass in one gulp, her eyes vaguely pleading. I suddenly found it absurd. Could a glass of wine erase everything that had happened before? How she had suppressed me, humiliated me, fabricated stories about me to the entire campus. I remembered it all clearly. And I had told her about my family situation. She must have known why I had taken those pills. Elise Montgomery's hand, holding mine, tightened. But you deliberately let everyone misunderstand me, letting the rumors that I took pills to beg you to come back spread across campus. What makes you think that one apology can make everything go away? It had been so long since I'd spoken my mind in one breath. Perhaps even Isabelle hadn't expected it. She looked at me, her face gradually growing awkward. You can beg Elise all you want. I won't forgive you, so you don't need to apologize to me. Leaving those words hanging in the air, I stood up and headed to the restroom to dry my wet hands. As I exited, I ran into Dominic in the hallway outside. He no longer clapped me familiarly on the shoulder. His eyes fixed on me were filled with undisguised hatred. Marcus, I really underestimated you. I looked at him, trying to suppress the churning discomfort in my gut. I always thought you were my best friend. Who wants to be friends with a psycho like you? He glared at me, gritting his teeth. I just wanted to watch the show. When did you conspire with Elise Montgomery? I looked at him coldly. When you said, if someone has anyone who likes them in real life, who'd bother with some vague, nebulous online relationship? What did you mean by that? It means she's my online girlfriend. Dominic just stared at me, his eyes alternating between resentment and hatred. Finally, he gave a cold laugh. So what? She's the heir to the Montgomery Group. An online relationship is just a way for her to kill time, to play with you. Before he could finish, Elise Montgomery's voice echoed from behind us. Sounds like you understand me better than I understand myself. Dominic's face paled. Elise Montgomery looked at him coldly. Do you think others can't see your petty intentions? Elise, I'm not. Dominic's voice trembled, his words broken. He finally looked at me, pleading for help. Elise Montgomery called out to me. Shadow, come here. Don't stand with people who have ill intentions. I walked towards her, pausing for a moment as I passed Dominic. I once considered you my best friend. At the time, I truly meant it, and I never regretted it. But from now on, that's no longer the case. Walking a few steps down the hallway, Elise held the bouquet, and I held her hand. My shadow is exhausted. Let's find somewhere else to eat. No, really, you don't have to. I hadn't finished speaking when Isabelle rushed out from inside. Elise, please consider what I just said. What happened before wasn't really my fault. Someone deliberately instigated it. Elise Montgomery suddenly stopped, turning to look down at Isabelle, her voice both cold and sharp, her eyes filled with mockery. Now, who is the one clinging to me like a lost dog because of some investment dealings? Elise and I walked side by side out of the restaurant, stepping onto the thin layer of snow on the ground, heading towards the parking lot. Are you cold? She asked, tilting her head. I instinctively nodded, then quickly shook my head. No, not cold. Aren't you two going out to discuss a partnership? Is it okay to just leave like that? She pulled me into the teal Lamborghini, turning on the heater. She just insulted my boyfriend in front of me, and you think she'd still ask me for investment? She must be crazy. The tone of her words perfectly matched the Elise I knew. Before meeting today, I had imagined countless scenarios related to Elise. Perhaps she would discover I was Marcus the moment we met and turn away in disappointment. Perhaps she would maintain basic courtesy and say we should just be friends. But I also thought of Elise standing on the bridge in the middle of the night singing for me, setting off fireworks across the city in the game. I thought of our quiet evenings connected by microphones, hearing only each other's breaths. Emotions and memories swirled, leaving me speechless for a long time. Finally, I just said, I'm so sorry. Why are you suddenly apologizing? Because I lied to you. I took a deep breath. I told you that in real life, I'm very outgoing, and I have lots of friends, and everyone likes me. But you see, no one likes me. I have so much bad press at school, even my only friend. I thought of Dominic, and a dense ache rose in my heart. Anyway, I'm sorry, Elise. You're speaking so formally. Are you trying to draw a line between us? She leaned closer, inch by inch, until the crisp, cool scent of sandalwood on her body enveloped me. I froze for a moment, then quickly reacted. No, actually, I should be the one to truly apologize. Her beautiful eyes, like flowing starlight, gazed at me from very close range. My heart pounded. She raised her hand, then with restraint, stopped an inch from my cheek. I should have been clear with you earlier. I knew it was you for a long time. It's not really a lie, right? Because you were so good, that's why I liked you. The Lamborghini navigated through heavy traffic, stopping in front of a flower shop. Elise unbuckled her seat belt. Shadow, wait for me in the car. A moment later, she emerged with a large fresh bouquet, still dripping with water. I originally planned to buy these flowers after our meeting, but then I heard them bad-mouthing you behind your back. I changed my mind and called you over. I want to help you vent, but instead you ended up giving me flowers first. She held out the bouquet to me. I didn't take it, just looked up at her. Serious, let's just be like this. Elise's fingers, clutching the flowers, trembled slightly. She looked at me. Did I do something wrong? Something that made you uncomfortable? I found it hard to bear the heavy emotion in her eyes. I had to lower my head. No, you're wonderful. It's precisely because you're too wonderful, standing so high that it makes me feel it's all unreal. It's absurd. My online girlfriend is Elise Montgomery. How could that be? Actually, I wanted to meet you for a long time, but I was so afraid you'd find out who I was, I confessed. I hesitated for so long. Finally, yesterday, when I confirmed Dominic wasn't my friend, I made up my mind. I imagined you in many ways. Maybe beautiful, maybe not so beautiful. Maybe just an ordinary, unremarkable person like me. But the one thing I never imagined was that you'd be so distant. The last two words left my mouth with bitterness in my heart. In the game, Elise and I had ridden horses through long streets, gathered herbs in the mountains, and sheltered each other under an umbrella by the snowy lake all day. One evening, she was a little tipsy, clinging to me, wanting to connect. I was so nervous, lying in my dorm bed, wearing headphones, typing to her. My roommates were all asleep, so I couldn't talk. Then don't talk, she'd said. The headphones amplified her voice, and for a moment, it felt as if she was whispering in my ear. I just want to confirm you're still here, Shadow. I like you very much, and I miss you very much. But in reality, I had always stood deep in the mud, gazing at her from afar. Who at school didn't know Elise Montgomery? And who didn't recognize me? It was ridiculous. Elise was silent for a moment, just staring at me. In the quiet car, warmth diffused silently, while outside the window, thick, dark clouds woven together obscured the sun, as if about to unleash all the snow within. After a long time, she finally spoke. It's my fault. I should have told you sooner or not rushed to meet you like this. I'm sorry, Shadow. I put pressure on you. My nose stung. Don't apologize. You didn't do anything wrong. But some relationships that start in fiction are better off staying in fiction. You were probably just enchanted by my online persona. If we were together in real life, you'd find I'm not that kind of person. I'm not worthy of your affection. Before I could finish, she took my hand. I can accept our relationship being temporarily paused here, but I cannot accept you denying yourself like that. Yesterday at the supermarket, when I pretended to run into you, I really wanted to tell you everything, but something at the company needed my urgent attention, so I had to leave. I really wanted to push the cart with you to choose holiday decorations together, to walk down the bustling street carrying our bags. Amidst the noisy crowds, I wanted you by my side even more. She leaned into my chest. Shadow, meeting you wasn't a fleeting fancy. It was a well-thought-out decision. I decided I knew about you even before those false rumors. After returning home, I posted on the university forum and conveniently sent a draft to the school's social media page. It wasn't much, just a picture and a short audio clip. The photo was from yesterday evening of Dominic and Isabelle kissing passionately by the restaurant window. The audio clip was short, a snippet of the conversation in the restaurant hallway during the day. I had cut out all parts related to Elise. The key highlight was just one line: "Who wants to be friends with a psycho like you?" I just wanted to watch the show. The rumors about me had always been campus gossip, keeping everyone entertained. This new post involving Dominic and Isabelle ignited an even fiercer discussion. In a single night, the thread climbed over 1,000 pages. They all said Ethan is crazy. I think Leo and Clara are pretty messed up, too. Yeah, your best friend and your girlfriend getting together. If I were him, I'd go nuts, too. But you can't talk like that. Whether they're together or not doesn't affect Marcus. He's really mentally ill. Didn't he try to get her back by taking pills? Isn't that true? Wait, who remembers how the rumors about him taking pills to get her back got out? Don't tell me. Really, don't tell me. It seems like it was Dominic. The forum and comment sections exploded with lively debate, saying everything imaginable. Reality wasn't like a novel where simply clarifying things would immediately restore my reputation. I was still flawed in everyone's eyes, but this time at least Dominic and Isabelle were dragged down with me. I sat before the doctor. While the internet buzzed, the doctor finished his examination and smiled. Your condition has improved recently. We can gradually reduce your medication until you can stop altogether. Has anything good happened? I was startled for a few seconds, unable to react. I met a very good person. I considered her my true friend. The people involved were oblivious, but I had no other trustworthy friends. If Elise hadn't reminded me, perhaps I would never have turned against Dominic, nor would I have found the courage to fight back. That evening, back home, I logged into the game. Elise was standing by the Riverside Bridge. People invited her to chat, but she declined them all. Seeing her, I mounted my horse and invited her to ride with me. Then I opened my voice chat. I saw your post and your confession. You did very well. I suddenly felt a little shy. It was you who encouraged me. Otherwise, I'm naturally timid and quiet. It's rare for me to be so brave and fight back. Thank you, Elise. So now you won't even call me Elise or love? She said, you even cut out all parts related to me from the audio clip. You didn't even give me a proper title. Are you afraid of involving me? Are you trying to cut ties with me? I couldn't discern if the emotion in her voice was joy or anger. I quickly explained, no, I was afraid of involving you. After all, this isn't anything glorious. It's just. But before I could finish, Elise on the other end laughed. Her voice was incredibly gentle. It's okay. Whatever you want to do, I respect it. Shadow, I like you, so I'm willing to wait until you think things through. Not long after my post, Dominic began frantically sending me messages. At first, he hurled insults, saying that if he hadn't pitied me, no one would have ever been my friend. Then he gradually began to feign remorse, apologizing and claiming he was jealous of my accomplishments, that he wanted to drag me down. We're friends after all. Delete the post. Let's resolve this between us. I thought back to our high school days. Actually, even though I didn't have many friends at first, I wasn't completely isolated by the class. Now that I thought about it, it seemed to be when Dominic joined our class in 11th grade and became my desk mate. The closer my relationship with him became, the worse my relationships with my other classmates grew. But that was the past. I had no proof, and I didn't want to pursue it pointlessly anymore. There's no way to resolve things between us, Dominic. What I showed everyone is the truth, right? Right and wrong are clear. After sending those words, I blocked him. Throughout the winter break, I didn't see Elise Montgomery again, but we were inseparable in the game every day. It felt different now. Before, she was a vague, faceless shadow, a mental pillar for my dismal failures in real life. But now, Shadow, get online. I'll set off fireworks for you. Her sweet voice flowed into my ears, and my face strangely warmed. It's late already. It's not too late. It's not bedtime yet. She hummed softly, her voice growing increasingly seductive. Get online. I just want to see you. Even if it's just in the game, it's fine. Shadow, my good disciple, my. The last affectionate term was forcibly swallowed back, a little unclear. My face burned as if a fire had ignited in my heart and spread to my head. In that moment, I suddenly felt lucky. Did you drink again? Just a little. Because I'm happy, she said. Classes start tomorrow. We can finally meet. It was hard to describe the emotion that surged in my heart in that second. Why would you do that? My voice was very soft, tinged with a little panic and hesitation. We've never actually met before. Do you really like me that much? She cut me off. Who says we haven't met? Doesn't that day at the cafeteria count, Shadow? You really didn't pay attention to what I said. Her voice suddenly held a touch of grievance. I made it clear already. I met you a long time ago. On the first day of classes, we didn't have any lessons. I went directly to the student advisor to apply for a room change. He clearly knew about the forum incident and my past struggles. He checked the system and found there was a new dorm room with only one occupant available. He approved my application cheerfully. After filling out a stack of paperwork, I walked out carrying my luggage to my new dorm. But halfway there, I ran into Elise Montgomery. A few steps away, she stood under a newly green-painted tree, looking directly at me. My steps faltered. Elise. She walked over very naturally, taking the luggage from my hand. Let's have lunch together. I can't believe this is happening at school. What's wrong with school? With her free hand, she very naturally stroked my chest. Can a girl and her boyfriend hold hands and have dinner together at school? I couldn't argue. I just followed beside her, nervously looking around as we approached the new dorm. Elise Montgomery seemed amused by my behavior. Shadow, what are you looking for? Are you afraid people will notice us and spread rumors? After all, I've always been their topic of discussion, and these rumors aren't exactly positive. Elise was silent for a second, then directly took my hand. I wish for it. My new roommate was a guy from the IT department named Adrian Montgomery. He not only came downstairs to help me carry my luggage but also accompanied me back to my old room to pack. After this room will only be us two. Plus, I have a girlfriend, so I won't be back often. You can rest assured, he said. He then pulled open a cupboard door. Strawberries. Want some? I'll wash a lot. Thanks. Just 1 or 2 is fine. He nodded, took the entire box of strawberries, and walked out to wash them. I pulled out my phone and found that someone had taken a photo of Elise and me holding hands on campus and posted it on the school's social media wall. The comment section exploded. Damn, damn, damn. What am I seeing? I'm not mistaken, am I? That's Marcus and Elise Montgomery. No wonder he suddenly got so bold, even dared to fight back against Dominic and Isabelle on the forum. Turns out he has a sugar mommy backing him. You can't say that. The victim can fight back whenever they want. Those two were already on the decline anyway. It doesn't matter. Am I the only one curious how he managed to seduce Elise Montgomery? These people are really blind. Adrian's voice suddenly sounded above me, carrying a hint of cold laughter. Can't you tell Elise Montgomery is desperate to charm you? I stared blankly at the strawberries he held to my mouth. Before I could react, I quickly took them. How do you know? As soon as the words left my mouth, remembering his name, everything clicked. What's your relationship with Elise? Adrian watched me eat the strawberries, then offered another. She's my cousin, although I don't really want to admit it. I sat down slowly, realizing why the dorm transfer had been so smooth this time. Why Elise Montgomery was waiting near me as soon as I finished the paperwork. Why, when my reputation was truly in tatters, my only new roommate would be so kind to me. It was all because of Elise Montgomery. A surge of warmth suddenly erupted from deep within my heart, flowing through my veins, enveloping my entire body. I spent the first semester peacefully. Perhaps because of Elise's presence, no one dared to openly provoke me anymore. Although there were still occasional whispers behind my back, I had learned to ignore them. Dominic and Isabelle's relationship, exposed on the forum, became the subject of campus gossip. They broke up shortly after the scandal. Isabelle tried to salvage her investment opportunity with Elise several times but was coldly rejected each time. Dominic, on the other hand, seemed to disappear from my life entirely. Elise and I grew closer with each passing day. She would wait for me after class, we'd have lunch together, and sometimes she'd drive me home. Our relationship was no longer a secret, though many still questioned it. But I had stopped caring about what others thought. One evening, as we sat in her car watching the sunset, she turned to me. "Shadow, do you remember what I said about meeting you a long time ago?" "Yes," I replied, curious. "You mentioned it before, but you never explained what you meant." She smiled softly, her eyes holding a distant look. "It was 3 years ago, during your first semester. You were sitting alone in the library, reading a book on game design. You looked so focused, so passionate about what you were doing. I watched you for a while, and when you finally looked up, our eyes met for just a second before you quickly looked away. My breath caught. I remembered that day vividly. I had felt someone's gaze, and when I looked up, I saw the most beautiful girl I'd ever seen. But I had been too afraid, too insecure to hold her gaze. You smiled at me," I whispered, the memory flooding back. "I did," she confirmed. "And you smiled back, just for a fraction of a second. That's when I knew. I wanted to know you, to understand the person behind that shy smile. So I started playing the same game you were reading about. I joined the same servers, explored the same areas, hoping I'd run into you. And then one day, I did. You helped me defeat a boss I'd been struggling with, and we became friends. You became my mentor, and I became, well, me." Tears welled up in my eyes. "You knew it was me all along." "Not at first," she admitted. "But when you mentioned certain details about your life, things you'd said in passing during our game sessions, I started to piece it together. And then I confirmed it when I saw your in-game username matched your forum handle. I realized my online friend and the boy from the library were the same person." "Why didn't you tell me?" I asked, my voice breaking. "Because I wanted you to trust me first. I wanted you to see that I liked you for who you are, not because of pity or obligation. I wanted you to believe that someone could genuinely care about you, Shadow. And I do. I always have." I pulled her close, holding her tightly as the sun dipped below the horizon. For the first time in years, I felt truly seen, truly valued, truly loved. "Thank you," I whispered into her hair. "Thank you for finding me." "Thank you for letting me in," she replied softly. As the stars began to appear in the darkening sky, I knew that this was just the beginning. The beginning of a new chapter, one written not in lies and fear, but in truth and love. And for the first time in my life, I was excited to see where the story would lead.